Hello guys, welcome back once again. Thanks for joining me again. This video is going to be pretty quick. I'm going to try and be pretty quick anyway. I know I always say that and they tend to drag on, but hopefully not this time. This is mostly this is to say thank you really. 50 subscribers already, that's absolutely insane. And the fact that you all seem to be such nice people, and you know, you're leaving me helpful comments and tips and stuff is absolutely amazing. So thank you first of all, not just for subscribing, but also thank you for the input that you're having and for the suggestions and questions that you're making. In that vein, this video is going to be two parts. Now the first part is going to be something of a little art haul video. I got some pretty good scores, if you like, recently, and I want to just go through a few of those, and I will be asked some questions as well, because there are things that I really struggle with. There are things that I don't really know how to approach. There's a couple of things I've been thinking about for a while and I just cannot work it out, and I was hoping you guys could have some input on that, because having had a look through a few of your channels, you are extremely talented in the most part, so you know, hopefully you're going to be able to lend a hand there. But let's get on with the art haul portion of the video, so get that out of the way. This is just a piece of Bristol board as usual. God knows how much of this stuff I've gone through since I've been doing this. Hopefully I found a semi-affordable decent replacement, because I found this stuff. It's called, is that a zoom out at all there? Yeah, okay, so I won't zoom out too much, but it's called Canson illustration paper. Now the interesting thing about this is it's 250 GSM, which is pretty thick. That's as thick as the Bristol board that I use. A4, it does say it's good for markers. I've looked online and apparently there's no bleed and no feathering when you use Copics or any alcohol based marker, so that's good. The reason I'm hoping this is good is because it is $3.99 for 12 sheets, which is, well, where I get it from anyway, it's $3.99 for 12 sheets. Most places it's around about £10. Most people do equate it to kind of the Express It blending card, so if it's anywhere near that for that price, I'm going to be absolutely sorted. So this one I haven't tested yet. I'm not going to be testing in this video because I do want to make a proper video about this stuff against some other new papers that I found, but that'll be coming soon. The next thing that I picked up, nothing hugely exciting. I've got my dip pen, which I had before, and I found a shop that actually sells the dip pen nibs. These are the tiny little, they're called Maru or mapping nibs. I've left the price on there as well. Those were $3.99 for 2 nibs. More expensive than I can buy them online, but convenience wins out there. So that's yeah, that was a good one. This one is a bit of an oddity. I have these are some of my favorite pens for line drawings. What are they called? The Kuretake Bimoji pens. This looks like it's probably just the exact same thing as a Bimoji pen, but in a different colour, and I am a sucker for that kind of thing, so let's just get this out. Okay, so there we go. This was $4.99, so it's slightly more expensive than the plain kind of the bamboo looking ones, but it is from a different place as well. So let's just see. It looks identical to the fine tipped Bimoji, so yeah, it's absolutely identical. Yeah, so that is just the different coloured version of this one, which is pretty cool actually to have different colours. I do, like I say, I'm a sucker for stuff like that, so bring it on. In the same kind of vein of, I've been trying to find some decent line pens because I love the Bimojis, but at the end of the day I don't like drawing with what is effectively a felt tip. I'd much rather use a brush tip or one of the flexible kind of nylon tipped markers, or pens rather, not markers. So I found these ones. So these are all from Zig or Kuretake. I think Zig might be a branch of Kuretake. So these are all various Zig pens. only after I bought them did I find out that this one is supposed to be a colouring pen. So this is not so much a line marker, it just happens to be the black one of this. This is a brush marker, this has got real bristles, because it's quite dry there. It's been suffering from that since I've got it, so I'm not sure if I've got one at the end of its life or what, but it's quite a nice, it's a black on the bluer side of black. It doesn't really show up in this at all, but it's quite nice. And I have tested it with Copics, and it's not super resilient. It will smudge if you don't leave it for at least 24 hours. Even after 24 hours, if you go back over it a few times, it will smudge. So that one's nice to draw with, and it is lovely, but it is effectively, you've got to think of this as a disposable black colouring pen. This one I had a little bit more faith in. This is the Millennium pen. Sorry, I took it off there. This is a fine line pen, so this has actually got a tip rating of 0.2 on the end there, and it's quite nice. It's got almost like the Copic style design there of the, what do they call it? I can't remember. They have a specific name for their drawing pens, and it's really nice to draw with, and the ink is a really nice rich black. I'm just scribbling here, so it's not going to be super neat. Again, I have tested this one with the Copic markers, and it didn't hold up overly well to those, so won't be going into that one too much. This one is the Artist Sketching Pen with alcohol-based permanent ink. I didn't think this one was going to hold up to the Copics, and it didn't. Probably held up less. The black on this one is absolutely phenomenal, though. It's such a dark black. I know that sounds like a really odd thing to say, but this one has got sorry, I'm kind of blocking out there. But compared to the rest of them, this one is as close to a proper black, like an India ink black, if you like. And it is very, very nice, but again, smudged under Copics. I haven't found anything that doesn't really, apart from those Bemojis, which is super frustrating. Including this, the biggest disappointment of them all, the Mangaka Flexible. Now this one I did have the highest of hopes for, because it's got on the actual pen there, you can't make it out because it's in tiny writing, but it says smudge proof with alcohol based markers. So you would have thought that this, given that it says it on the pen, could handle Pro markers or Copics, but whether I didn't leave it long enough, I did leave it for a good 3 or 4 hours before I tried it. The reason I was looking forward to this pen the most is because it's got the flexible nylon brush tip, so you can get some line width variations on this one, as well as getting some nice thick lines. You can get some absolutely tiny thin lines, and sorry, I'm going to zoom back in now because I don't need to be that far out. Yeah, so you can get some really nice line width variations on this one, and I was really hoping that this was going to be something that I could use as a replacement for the Bemojis, but sadly not. It is a really pretty looking pen as well. It's black plastic with kind of little gold flecks in the plastic. You can't make that out, but they're there, trust me. A random one which I haven't tested yet, and I only picked it up yesterday in fact, was this by a company called Tombow. I'm pronouncing that wrong, I guarantee it. This is, all of the description of this was on the box. It's called a calligraphy pen, so I've absolutely no idea if it's actually going to be Copic proof at all. I might do just a scribble and see if I can. It is a really, really nice tip on this one. It's more flexible than the ones on the Bemojis and on the Mangaka pen that I just used, but it's also got that kind of stiffness in the tip that lets you get not quite as fine a line, but it is still quite a fine line for, given that that's all been drawn with one pen. You've got your nice thick lines around the outside there, you've got some really thin fine lines, and then some varying lines, and that's all quite easy to do. So this, if it is resistant to the Copic markers, I will be stocking up on these. This was, I think, $2.99. I think the majority of these all of the Zig ones were less than £2 each from my local art store, a place called Crafts and More. The Beamoji, that was a £5, but that was from an actual stationery shop, which just, I was super surprised to find stuff like this in there. This was from the same shop, the same stationery shop, and this was £2.99. So if that works, that's going to be an absolute bargain. And I picked up a bunch of new markers as well. My storage solution is now not a solution, really. Additionally, I also have my first Copic sketch markers. These arrived today. I had to buy them singles online because they are impossible to get hold of in any stores over here. I bought R00 Pinkish White, which is this one, and I bought BV20, which is Dull Lavender. So some quite nice pastel-y colours there. The difference between these and the Chow is mainly these the sketch hold a lot more ink, and the shape of them. The shape is already making me want to go ahead and just buy a ton of these, because one of the things that happens all the time when I'm colouring, especially for videos, is I'll get all the colours out that I need in one go, and I'll pop them down on the desk, and I'll just get them ready to go, and then they'll roll across the table like that. And if there's nothing in the way, they can get some speed up, and they'll just roll straight off the table, and there we go. So we've got that, and I'm sure I could balance out my desk, and I'm sure I could balance out, the rolling, but at the same time, when I can just use markers like this that just sit on the table and they don't roll away, there's a solution in itself. Sorry, I'm just trying to struggle to get the markers back in now, because they do. Yeah, there we go. Right. Both of these markers use the same. The sketch and the Chow use the same inks. They use the same refill system. They have the same brush tips. They're identical, so parts are interchangeable between them, but it is just this one is a different shape and will hold more ink. The other difference is that the color code for these ones is on the tip, so it's completely illegible for you there, especially if I move it closer. But the color code's on the tip there, so you can just about see there. And when you're used to, like I am, looking at the barrel of the pen for the color code and the name, that gets quite distracting. When you're drawing like that, say, and it's on the other side, you've got to flip it around, whereas on the sketch it's on both sides. So sorry, I keep finding differences on these. The other difference, the one that kind of annoyed me slightly, is you can't post the caps on the sketch markers. So I would normally, pop my cap on the end there for a Chow. Gives them quite a bit more length, and I quite like that, but you can't do that with the sketch. Not necessarily the biggest downside, and definitely not one that compares with the fact that these just don't go anywhere on your table. I will be getting some more of these, so try not to getting any duplicates is the main problem there. The last two things that I've picked up since my last video are, I bought some project books. So these are effectively like file folders which you just put your artworks in. I've been up until now just kind of stacking them. I haven't got much in this one actually, I haven't got much in any of them. I've just been stacking them, and I thought if I'm going to start doing some decent stuff with these expensive markers, I will need a way to look after it. I bought an A4 one and this absolutely gigantic A3 one, which has got my Fortune Teller Baba colouring in it, or drawing in it, and looking forward to getting that filled up over the course of this channel. Okay, with the whole portion of the video out of the way, I wanted to ask some questions of my extremely talented and hopefully easily flattered subscribers. I've been doing this for a while now, and there's a few things which I am struggling with. I've got some tips off of you guys already, which has been brilliant, and I was hoping you might be able to provide some more. So, question number one. Marker storage. How do you guys store your markers? Have you got any easy to get hold of solutions? Is it going to be easiest just to buy the standard storage box from Amazon or from Copics. I know they have the box that comes with the storage for the Copic Chow and the Copic Sketch, but is that the best solution or is that the easiest solution? I don't know. If anybody's got any suggestions, I have looked at some videos online, but they all seem to involve quite a lot of DIY, which I live in the UK, and some of the things that they kind of take for granted in those DIY videos are not super easy to get hold of here. Like I showed you just now, this is what I'm currently using. So it's these 2 bamboo boxes that I bought from Wilko's, a chain over here, and it's good, but I've run out of storage, and I don't want to keep buying a box every time I get more of these markers. I do have another box which is currently housing some coloured pencils, which I'm going to sacrifice. Well, I'm not going to sacrifice the pencils. I'm going to put those somewhere else so I can put some more Copics into there. But if anybody's got any better ideas, then please shoot me a comment or even drop me a message from here, and anything you can do would be massively appreciated. Question number 2. How do you do your blacks? When I was doing Fortune Teller Barber, and when I was doing the Goku drawing, and in fact whenever I do anything that's got any significant amount of black on it, I've tried using my the Pentel Pocket brush pen, and that isn't Copic proof. So if I use that and then I absolutely accidentally ding the edge of a black area, there's a chance that I can drag the black out into the main drawing, which I really don't want to do. I do have the other Pentel brush pen, which is a lot more resilient to the Copics, but is also on the redder side of blacks, so I'm not really happy with that colour. The other option I've got is I bought this Kaime drawing ink, which is a really nice deep black, but I don't have a brush. So is it just, when you guys do your solid black areas, do you just use a brush with some ink or one of these guys and just be careful not to go over it? Or have you got another solution? Please, like I said before, let me know what your suggestions or answers to that might be. Number 3, as no surprise because it was sat just in the corner there for the whole time, is anatomy foreshortening. Now, this is something that I realised is a big problem in the way that I've been trying to do anatomy. As I showed you in a few videos ago, this guy, I've been trying to use him to kind of get my pose, and then I'll take a photo of him, print the photo off, and then I'll use my light board to trace out, which absolutely works fantastically. But in a situation like this, for example, that looks really weird. When you print that off, his forearm ends up looking really small. In fact, the exact example that I'm using at the moment is somebody with their leg up on a rock. He's got his hand on his thigh. So let's do it like that. And what ends up happening when you print that is it looks like the forearm section here is very short compared to the other arm. Are there any tips or hints on how to make that look a little bit more natural? I've considered using clothing folds to kind of indicate where a bend is, which hopefully should make a difference. But the problem with this particular project is the guy doesn't have any material covering that part of his arm. I did also consider trying to use perspective and make the hands bigger and then the arm kind of smaller as it goes away, but that ends up with the arm looking, because of the way obviously the forearm narrows as you go down, it ends up making the arm look a little bit too tubular and it doesn't really look right. So again, any suggestions, please let me know. And the final question I've got for you guys, any of you who use dip pens, I've been trying to get to grips with this one. Like I showed you, I bought some new nibs for it and I just wanted to see how it goes, but I cannot get away from the smudging element of it. I don't know if I maybe didn't treat the nib right anyway, because it's quite scratchy when I'm drawing, but it is, if I am drawing and the only kind of solution I can think of myself is to start in the middle and then kind of work my way out, so I'm never going back over the same areas. That seems like a really unnatural way to do it, and it seems like it's going to take a lot of the organic flow of the drawing away from the actual the piece. So I've considered using I'm trying to source. I've seen artists use these gloves, which are like the bottom 2 fingers covered, and that's it. And they look like a really good idea, but I think they're meant mostly for tablets. But I have seen people use traditional media using them. So if anybody has tried those, or if anybody can suggest them, or warn me off them if they're a waste of money, then let me know, and I'll be much appreciated. So that's it for this video, guys. Really want to just say again, thank you for subscribing. It means an absolute ton to me that people want to have it pop up in their notifications box when I put up a new video, or if people actually find it that entertaining that they want to see some more of it. That is just that's the reason to do this on its own. This video, like I said, is a little bit of an abnormal one. It did ramble on for a little longer than I wanted to, considering it was supposed to be a short video, but hopefully not long enough that I've lost any subscribers in the meantime. If you enjoyed the video, if you've got any comments to make, if you want to make any suggestions, leave the suggestions or the comments down in the comments box below. If you enjoyed the video, please stick a like on it. Even better, subscribe to the channel. I'll be making lots more videos. I am considering moving up to 2 videos a week. It's difficult because this is what I do. I have a normal 9 to 5 job, and this is what I do when I have spare time, which I don't get a huge amount of. I've got 2 children, and they tend to take up a lot of the time that I do get as spare. So I am genuinely considering trying to move up to 2 videos a week, but that might be a little way off yet. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and come back soon for more.